What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Woman Be Healed podcast, the podcast all about acknowledging the opportunity to heal, harnessing the power of forgiveness by leaning on God and community. I'm your host, Rashonda Powell. What's up, y'all? I am back. I'm back, y'all, with another episode of the Woman Be Healed podcast. It's been a few weeks. It's been a few months, to be honest, since we last chopped it up. And y'all know I have mentioned so many times about the importance of stepping back and kind of regrouping and getting yourself together when you need it. So, me extending this to you, don't ever apologize for that space you take, you know? Remember, you are not at your fullest potential to give to anybody else when you are not at your best self. So don't apologize. Listen to your needs and, your body and fill out your mind. And if it's not in its best state, then take a step back in some areas. And then when you reground yourself, then you can come back with a fresh mind, a fresh perspective, a fresh feel in your body and give, whatever you can give and give more to others, to your family, to your career, to your business, whatever it is, you can come back in with everything everything where it's supposed to be. So, um that's where I've been. I took a step back and I got me together. If you've been listening over the past few months since I've started, you'll know that me and social media have a hate love relationship. I do not like social media, y'all. But I know that within this growing area of technology, social media is one of the best and worst tools for marketing that a business can use. Like the benefits of marketing and networking are just dope all around if you use them correctly. And the cons of social media, yeah, it's a whole addiction, I feel like. And when you think of addiction, you automatically go to like drugs and alcohol, porn, things like that. But social media is an addiction. If you wake up in the morning and the first thing that you do is click on Instagram, if you go to Facebook or whatever your platform is, that is a whole addiction, you know? It's crazy how internet is now a necessity. Like literally. My 8-year-old daughter asked me in the car the other day, like, Mommy, would you rather have the internet or your foot? Automatically, right off the bat, I say, I'd rather have my foot. Then I gave it a minute and I asked her, you rather have the internet? And she was like, I'd rather have my foot. But then she pipes up like right after and she's like, nah, I'd rather have the internet. I can't live without the internet. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But then I start thinking about it. If I didn't have internet, I couldn't work my remote job. If I didn't have internet, I couldn't order my groceries ahead of time and pick them up. I would need a phone book if they even have phone books anymore. I would need direct cable instead of Roku's and smart TVs because I got them all through my house. I don't have cable. All I have to do, even if I do give up my foot, I could search on Google who is the best prosthetic surgeon and pay for my false foot. So to be honest, in this day, the foot doesn't even take precedence over the internet. Like we have abandoned the times where the internet wasn't a necessity anymore because it was non-existent. You can't rely on something that's not known. But since times have changed with technology, if you don't have it, well, you're gonna have a hard time with a lot of things. And that's kind of how social media is with the business world. It's okay to market just with flyers, and go to pop-ups and things like that, but to really grow and flourish in other states and internationally, your use of social media is a biggie. That's a necessity, and I struggle with that. Why? Because social media is like a breeding ground for negativity for me. Because people try and make everything pretty when everything isn't pretty. I hate that. Be real. People in the comments are like complete trolls and will try and tear you down to make themselves feel some type of superiority or feel even just a tinge better about themselves or their situation by smacking somebody else down. I can't stand that. And honestly, I feel like there are literal demons hiding in the algorithms, like for real. Just shooting arrows of depression through your timeline, throwing jabs of anxiety in the eighth post you see, putting you in a chokehold of regret in the profile of somebody you don't even know, but you just decided to watch today. Handing you cookies of should haves and could haves and all these things in the couple that you started to look at, or the business profile that just started a year ago, but looks like they popping more, more than you because you've been in business 3 years. I don't like social media. But I do. What I do like about social media, I like those funny videos that make me smile. I like watching my auntie Tab drop gems and smile her good smile. I like seeing my husband pop up on my feed on his workouts. I like that. Like, I like to see people win, and I like the good, in it. That makes me laugh. But it's when I start to see somebody fighting and acting foolish, getting shot in the street, showcasing two personal things like catching their partners in the act of cheating, or somebody on live and or in they post like throwing jabs at the people in their community. Like all that just don't sit right with me. I can't laugh at it. I have a hard time processing the why of it. And then it just starts to settle, It settles within my spirit. a spirit. A spirit of like heaviness, a spirit of dislike, a spirit of anxiety, a spirit of God is coming back, but I don't know if I'm ready just yet because I be all over the place. But if you are coming, Lord, please take me and don't leave me here with this heaviness and this people. And with that, I get this dislike for people when I actually love people. I love to see people happy and I love to see people getting better and healing and growing and come together. And there it is. Thought after thought, blow after blow. My mind starts literally attacking itself. And I go down this rabbit hole of darkness and chaos. Things that I feel like other people should do because I would do them. Things that I know I feel like others should know. Things that I know God is the answer for. But people, they just not on that level yet, or they just don't accept it because that's not who they are. Things that other people that I don't know, they have wisdom that I feel like I need, or wisdom that I feel like I want, but I'm just not there yet. Like I get jealous of that sometimes. I get envious of that, and that's a sin. Things that I feel like therapy is needed for, but we're taught therapy is taboo for. Like, yo, that's what my mind does. Like, I go in this rabbit hole of darkness and chaos, and I just keep digging and digging and digging and digging and digging until I'm in this big old pit of darkness. And by the time I reach my hand up, yo, I can't even reach the top of the hole. Am I the only one? Is that just me? Like, that's crazy. And I feel like I'm being targeted and I'm being attacked. So, just like social media is a marketing tool, social media and the media in general is a strategic tool for the enemy too. And you are getting attacked. I am getting attacked. We are being targeted and attacked. So, how do I use this tool without being given into the enemy's hand? Or how do I give anything? Or how do I do anything without giving into the enemy's hand? How do I recognize it at all? And I was trying to figure out where to go from here, to be honest. So here's what I kind of landed at, just to kind of unpack the episode and I may have a part two about it, but abandon the topic of social media for a bit. I want to unpack the topic of recognizing when you are being attacked and targeted. Like, I'm a person that does not like to give the enemy credit. I don't. Like, yo, don't try and come in here and rule nothing because my father holds everything in his hands. Big talk like that. I mean, hands clapping. That's what I'm telling the enemy. I don't like giving him credit. I would even put things on myself more just to not give the enemy credit. Like, nah, it's just me. My mood tore up. I'm just having trouble shaking it. I ate I ate like crap over the past few days. These hormones in food. I'm tripping. I say that before I even give that. I don't like giving the enemy credit. I'm the total opposite of the people that blame everything on the devil. Y'all know them people where they be like, ain't nothing but the devil. The devil just so messy. The enemy done struck again. I mean everything from a flat tire when they seen won't no air in that tire when they left the house, to getting rained on but they ain't checked the weather, to getting arrested but you know good as well you put water in that man gas tank. and you was on camera. Stop playing. I'm playing around. But we all make decisions that impact our lives in some way. Sometimes the consequences and the cards that we're dealt come from what we choose to do. It ain't the devil. It ain't all the devil. So I'm the person that I don't like to give him credit because I don't even want to believe that he has that much power over me to affect anything going on in my life. But I'm wrong there too because the enemy has strategies and he uses them at any opportunity. But how do we recognize this though? I always say you are not at your fullest potential to help anyone else when you're not feeling your best self. Have you ever tried to pour from a cup that has only about two swallows left in it? Like won't much, was it? It was something, but it definitely won't much. Or you either gave that person the last two swallows that you had and now you feel completely empty and may have even had a bit of transference by the time you finish. Then we're finally like, boom, now I see something ain't right. Because something little triggers us after, and we have this complete breakdown. And then we have to literally build back up from rock bottom in the valley of emotions and also deal with the other trials and tribulations or triumphs from a place of, yo, I got nothing, not even a half hearted smile. But I want us to be able to recognize this even before we get to the last swallows in your cup. I want us to be able to recognize this before that this ain't it. Something is going on and I need some help to fix this or I need to address this before I go off my end. So the first thing in recognizing attack from the enemy is first being in tune with yourself. Stop normalizing not being okay. Like, and don't confuse that with me saying that there's something wrong with the saying it's okay to not be okay. It's okay not to be okay. Yeah, y'all remember that saying? Y'all know what it's saying. This is me saying that. I'm saying that. Never try and hide what you feel for the benefit of others or just to show face. This only does what I call the bottle up. But what I'm saying is when we recognize I'm not okay, instead of allowing ourselves to sit in it, then we go into the action of what are the next steps? Where is this stemming from? And how can I learn to be better and do these things? Whether it's going to therapy, reading more, if you don't trust others with your inner thoughts, praying more, whatever the action may be. But an action has to be made. And if you're in a space where it's literally a mood disorder, I can understand that. Allow someone in so that they can meet you in the middle and advocate for yourself when you're not in a space to advocate for yourself. And recognizing and being in tune with yourself. That's recognizing, your cues, the regular norms and what you go through. So if you feel like, your body just feels heavy or you're starting to get headaches and, all these things and you like, something is going wrong, don't just drink a glass of water and go about your business. Like, be in tune with yourself enough to say, something is wrong, okay? And I need to fix it. I'm acknowledging that I'm not okay, but what is going to bring me to the next step of me being okay? The next way to kind of recognize is an attack is to look at what you're doing. Have you ever noticed when you're seeking something in your life and praying about it, or just doing what you're supposed to do, minding your business and minding God's business, that mess just starts to happen? And it doesn't always have to be a big mess, it can be small things. Your kids start throwing temper tantrums or waking up in the middle of the night, disrupting your sleep pattern, their sleep pattern, and everybody is just cranky and tired. And, somebody on your job just really starts to get on your nerves more than normal. The enemy will use somebody on your job, won't he? Because you're there all through the day, right? So he's like, okay, so I know where she is most of the day, or I know where she has to be. This is a requirement of her. I'm going to shake some things up for her. Little things that have a big, heavy impact. That's strategic. Look at you, what you've been praying for. The enemy don't like when we're trying to do better. He doesn't like when we're starting to cut people off in our lives that kept us in pettiness and trouble. He don't like when we create new habits and better habits. He don't like when we seek God for anything and begin to read our word rather than press social media or watch drama TV. He's okay when you're a mess. He won't bother you. But when you're on the right track, he goes in a frenzy and he pulls your file and says, "Hey, what riles Melissa up? What riles Brittany up? Hey, yo, what gets Shonda afraid? What puts Tiffany in a funk for a long time? What messes with Janice's mind to where she won't think about picking that Bible up? To where she won't think about praying before she goes to bed? To where she wants to go clubbing with her old friends that makes her get into some of her old habit things?" And this is how I think he talks to his imps and his demons. Whatever, whatever that is, y'all, do it. Start small to see how strong she is. And if that don't work, go for the big things. And those simple things start to come in, right? Placing a DM in your husband's inbox from one of those OnlyFans pages that strikes your insecurity and throws your marriage into heavy arguments. Putting a new messy member in your e-group that looks like they mean no harm, but begins to speak some stuff that starts to shake you up in your mind. Replacing that old coworker, that got promoted to a new department with a Karen that sits right beside you. Simple things. Small enough not to notice at first, but can throw a train right off its track. The last way I thought about to kind of recognize an attack is to remember. So going back to that file that the enemy has, y'all, that's real. You ain't been attacked just once in your lifetime, and if you have, you ain't lived enough yet. I got attacked as a child. Couldn't even talk. I had rickets. It's rare now, but they said I wasn't even supposed to live past 7 years old. And if you know you have been attacked, then remember, because the enemy remembers. Remember, he remembers what riles you up. He remembers what gets you insecure. He remembers what throws you into a panic that makes you act out of character. I told y'all one of my favorite Jonathan McReynolds songs is Cycles. And it's because of the line, the devil will learn from your mistakes, even if you don't. He remembers what riles you up. When you went through that period when your finances were acting funny and you needed something to shake in day one and you went and did something strange for a piece of change, but then you cried and cried and cried and cried and cried and didn't pick your Bible back up for weeks because you let that guilt almost eat you alive. Or when you got sick in your body and couldn't get out of bed, let alone touch a laptop to market your business. When that coworker on your job annoyed you so bad you spazzed out and got fired. Or you spazzed out or fell under review because your performance dropped because you just didn't care anymore. I love the song Look Around You and See What the Lord Has Done because that's so good and true to remember just how much God has blessed you and just how good God is and just how much you've overcome. But also look around you and see where the enemy slid in and tried you. And this is to learn. Learn that God don't play about you even when he do slide in. And learn that the enemy will try you and play you. But remember that you ain't no fiddle nor fool. We are God's chosen people. You are made by God's hand himself. That big, beautiful brain and this big life of yours was predestined for purpose. When you're in tune with yourself, but you begin to notice your triggers. You'll begin to notice when your mood is starting to spiral down. You'll begin to notice when your body just isn't feeling its best. Listen to that. When you're in tune with God, you'll know that the enemy don't like that, and he's gonna try you. He gonna get his foul of foolery. And when you remember, you'll remember that he knows I get upset in these moments. He knows I panic when I ain't got no money and I just feel like I'm not gonna eat. I can't provide for my kids. He knows all that. But in those moments, because I remembered what he does, because I remembered his strategy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stay true to my faith and I'm going to trust in God, even though this situation is looking real funny, honey. So, just like I know one of my triggers is scrolling on social media, that's a big trigger for me. I know I still need it as a marketing tool. I know that. But sometimes we're going to be in these spaces where we're going to have to be because it's a requirement. We're going to have to be in these spaces. But we also going to have to learn to maneuver in that environment and use what we know about it and what we know about us to get us through and to come out as more than a conqueror. So I need social media to market and network, but I know it gets me depressed and in a bad headspace when I start to scroll. So that means download a program where I can schedule my post and get off, right? Don't scroll. We have to go to work and we know that our coworkers is there, you know, and that means engaging only when necessary, and when it ain't necessary, take yourself back to your area and learn how to say, listen, I so appreciate what you do business wise, but if this ain't that, we ain't got nothing further to discuss. Okay. Or learn how to document every instance and take your running record to HR, however you want to handle it. We know we have to mom, but we're not feeling up to something. We can learn how to say, listen, mommy isn't feeling her best and I need some space right now. So that means I don't want to cause you any hurt. I don't want to cause you any hurt feelings. So give me X amount of time to get myself together. And when I get myself together, I'm going to come out and we going to do whatever. Or if I can't handle it today, let's try again tomorrow. Okay? And when you begin to recognize these attacks right at the start, there's this thing called rebuke and cast down and flat out tell the enemy, take his ugly self and his helpers back to hell because they tried it. Recognizing won't get rid of your problems. Recognizing won't get rid of the attacks altogether, because as long as you are God's, He's going to try you. But it sure gonna have you like Mike Tyson up in that ring, okay? Floyd Mayweather, whoever your favorite fighter is, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Satan gets behind thee. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, y'all.